Welcome to the Global War Watch Network.
Think about this for a second. No missiles, no reloads, just pure energy. Imagine a naval defense system that literally never runs out of ammo and can fire at the speed of light for just pennies a shot. Well, this isn't science fiction anymore. It is happening right now. Japan is testing it at sea, and honestly, it could change everything.
If you want to stay on top of huge shifts in military tech just like this one, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out.
So, you might be asking yourself, why is a weapon like this so important all of a sudden? Well, it's because the kinds of threats ships are facing today have completely changed. The old ways of defending a warship, they're getting dangerously outdated and, well, incredibly expensive.
All right, just look at the sheer number of things a modern warship has to deal with. We're not talking about a couple of big, sophisticated missiles anymore. The real headache now comes from swarms of cheap, mass-produced drones, loitering munitions, the so-called kamikaze drones, and even simple, old-school mortar rounds. By themselves, they're not a huge deal, but when they come at you all at once, they can totally overwhelm a ship's defenses.
And this right here brings us to the biggest problem of all, the money. A single interceptor missile can cost hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars. But a drone? That might only be a few $1,000s. It's like firing a missile the price of a Lamborghini to take down a drone that costs less than a used car. It just doesn't make sense, especially when you're facing 100 of them at once. You're going to go broke before you win that fight.
So how do you solve this impossible math problem? Well, Japan's answer is this: a 100-kilowatt directed energy weapon. Basically, a high-energy laser that is designed to completely rewrite the rulebook for naval defense. So what does 100 kilowatts of power actually look like? Well, it's not one giant laser beam like in the movies. It's actually a really brilliant piece of engineering. They take 10 smaller 10-kilowatt fiber lasers, all made in Japan by the way, and combine their beams into one single, powerful, focused beam. It's a clever way to do it, and it makes the whole system much more reliable.
Now, a system this advanced doesn't just appear overnight. This is the result of more than a decade of really focused research. They started with older, kind of hazardous chemical lasers, and then shifted to these much safer, much more efficient fiber lasers. And it works. It's already been proven on land, where it successfully shot down drones and even intercepted mortar rounds. So now it's been mounted on the test ship Asuka, and they're putting it through its paces at sea. The next big step? Live fire tests against targets in the ocean, and that's slated to start in 2026.
Okay, now let's get to the really exciting part. What makes this laser so revolutionary? This isn't just a new type of gun for a ship, it's a whole new way of thinking about defense.
I mean, this chart says it all. Look at the difference here. The cost per shot? It drops from crazy high to almost zero. It's just the cost of generating the electricity. The magazine capacity? Well, it goes from whatever you can physically store on the ship to basically unlimited, as long as the ship has power. And engagement speed? You're going from supersonic to the speed of light. You just can't outrun it. It's an instant hit.
And that's the phrase you really need to remember: unlimited magazine. In a long, drawn-out fight, one of a warship's biggest fears is simply running out of missiles. With a laser system, as long as the engines are running, you're generating power, and as long as you have power, you can fire. This completely changes how long a ship can stay in a fight.
There's a really great analogy for this. Trying to shoot down a drone swarm with expensive missiles is like trying to swat 1,000 mosquitoes with a rolled-up newspaper. You might get a few, but you'll get exhausted. The laser, on the other hand, is like having a powerful, cheap, and always-on water hose. You can just stand there and spray down every single threat, one after another, without ever getting tired and without ever running out of water.
So let's zoom out a little. What does this all mean on a bigger scale? Because this isn't just a cool new gadget for a ship. This is a strategic game changer, not just for Japan, but pretty much for every navy around the world.
And you have to understand, Japan isn't developing this just because the tech is cool. They have very specific reasons. They need a cheaper, better way to deal with all those low-cost threats we talked about. They need their ships to be able to stay in the fight longer. It's a huge part of modernizing their military to protect their warships and their critical shipping lanes, especially in a region that's getting more and more tense.
And trust me, they're not stopping with just drones and mortars. That's the focus for now, but the long-term goal is pretty clear. As they develop even more powerful lasers, this exact same technology could one day be used for missile defense, taking out much bigger, much faster threats.
So, this all leads us to one final massive question. As these energy weapons get stronger, more reliable, and more common, are we watching the beginning of the end for traditional naval combat as we know it? It sure feels like we're standing at a major turning point in history. Thank you so much for your time today. Please, if you found this interesting, like, share, and subscribe to the Global War Watch Network. We'd love to hear what you think, so drop your thoughts in the comments below. And you can join our community on social media. All the links are right there in the description.